Welcome to the suburbs with Andy and Greg.
So what's going on with your mom?
So mom loses her driving privileges.
Wow.
She can't do a lot of things anymore that she could be able to do. And so I'm up there, and my sister and I take 7-day shifts. So I'll go up there, I'll work remotely from her place. And so it's fall, and it's the weekend, and we're literally 5 miles from Michigan. And recreational marijuana is legal in Michigan.
Yes, it is.
So I decide I've got a career where our company is sending all of the jobs to India, and I'm watching that happen. And these are all jobs I hired all these people. They were part of my team. They're now going away. Those people are losing their jobs. I'm like, can't do anything about it. And I've got a mom who I'm watching just take steps down the ladder of dementia. And I've decided that on this Saturday, and it's a sunny, beautiful day, I'm going to plant fall bulbs, and I'm going to drive to Michigan and buy some edibles. I'm not going to buy something to smoke because I like cardio. I like backpacking up mountains and things, and I don't want to smoke anything. But you know what? Damn it, I'm going to do an edible. And so I do. I get these gummies, and I eat one, and the sun is shining, and the birds are chirping, and I'm visualizing our little cottage with all these plants, and everything is just like spectacular.
Unicorns and rainbows.
Yes, it is. And I'm jamming. I've got my AirPods in, and I'm jamming, and I'm getting everything done.
Listening to Jefferson Airplane.
Led Zeppelin.
There you go.
And I realized, man, I've just planted like 150 daffodils and all these crocus, and I need to go to the store and get some more bulbs. And so then I think, and mom can't drive anymore, so I think, okay, I'm going to go down the hill to her place and see if she wants to go with me. And she's like, yes, I would love to go with you. And I go, okay. So I get my truck, I go down there, I pick her up, and she's got a grocery list in her purse that she wants to be dropped off at the grocery while I go to the hardware store and buy some bulbs.
As you're tripping.
Yes. And so she's like looking through her purse trying to find this grocery list. And she can't find it. And it's a purse. It's not Montana, right?
A cave.
Right. I mean, it's like this bottomless cave to her. And she's like, and she's looking through it, and she can't find the list. And I go, well, maybe you left it on the counter. And she's like, well, no, I didn't. I put it in my purse. And so she spends the entire drive to the store.
Looking through Montana.
And I know that she can't remember very much anymore. And so I get ready to drop her off, and I realize, what if I lose her while I'm
tripping?
Yeah, while I'm tripping. And so I said, okay, look, check the watch, look at the time. Here's the time here. Okay, it's 1:30. I'm going to meet you at this stop sign out in front of the store in a half an hour. Okay, you've got 30 minutes. So at 2 o'clock, I'm going to meet you at this stop sign. I want you to look at the building, look at the doors, look where the sign is. I'm going to meet you at this door. She says, okay. And so she gets out and she goes off. And then I thought, what if I forget her? What if?
Or I forget how to tell time.
Right. Well, no, I think I got the time down, but it's just like, you know how you can just forget things. You have an edible, and sometimes you just space things. I can't forget my mom. And so I go I go to the hardware store to get bulbs, and I'm sitting there like, okay, I've got to get daffodils, and I can't forget Mom. And it just becomes like this mantra.
This list. Mom was
can't forget
every
Mom.
other line item.
Right. Got to get more crocus bulbs, and I can't forget Mom. Don't forget Mom. I can't. And so I'm going through all of the things that I need to buy. Don't have quite everything there. So there's this other place that's called Tractor Supply, and there's like a Farm and Fleet and Rural King.
Never heard of that one.
Rural King?
No.
Oh, Rural King is king. I mean, it's like
King of the Rurals.
It is. So if you're a farmer and you want to go to a place that's got clothing and dog food and baby chicks and lumber and anything for your tractor, plants, you name it, bulbs, popcorn to eat while you're shopping, and don't forget Mom. And I'm like, don't forget Mom. I can't forget Mom. And so I look at the time, and I'm like, okay, I got to be at the destination to pick her up. And I get there, and she's just coming out of the door, and she's got a shopping cart with groceries in it. And so we come around. I lift up the gate for the truck, and we're putting all of her groceries in with the bulbs and everything. And she's talking to me about all kinds of stuff. I get the last piece put into the truck, and she looks at me and she goes, I didn't pay for any of this. And I'm like, what?
Don't forget to pay.
Right.
Should have been on her list.
Right. Don't
At
forget.
the bottom.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This stuff.
Didn't pay for it.
Right.
So
Charge card.
So you just close the lid and gone, right?
Oh, no. Karma. So I put everything, and she's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be arrested. I go, you're not going to be arrested. and the buzz, you're a buzzkill, though. I'll tell you that right now. You're a buzzkill.
You're bringing me down, Mom.
So I'm putting everything back in the shopping
You're harsh in my mellow.
That's it. That's the one. And so I put everything in the shopping cart, and she goes, I've got to tell someone. I go, you're going to pay for these. You're not going to tell someone. You're not. Look at me, Julie. You're not going to tell someone. Okay, what do? I said, you just meander back in, go back past the greeter, go hang a left, go to the self-checkout, and check out and pay for everything. And she's, okay, I can do that. And
Good plan.
Yeah. And so she comes back, everything's in bags. I know she paid. And I didn't forget Mom. And we've got groceries.
I thought you were going to say you drove away and left her.
That's what I thought I was going to do. I thought I'm going to show up to plant bulbs again, and then I'm going to realize,
I forgot Mom. Back in 2011, I left the job that I was at, very burned out, and thought I would take a change of career. So I figured network administration, everybody needs that. So I'll take a sabbatical, go back to school at age 50, and get an associate's degree in network administration. That could take me anywhere in the country for employment. Seemed like a good idea. And so at age 50, I enrolled at Ivy Tech. And as I was working with my advisor, we're looking at my Butler transcripts, and we're looking at what classes would transfer and be, so I could take no core classes and get straight to my networking classes. And he's looking at my transcript and says, oh, your math class is only 2 credit hours. I said, yeah, you're going to need to take a math class.
oh, that would be my undoing.
I'm like, oh, man. And so I said, what do you got? Well, we got this introductory class called Fundamentals of Mathematics.
Yeah.
I said, oh.
Fundamentals.
Hey, Andy, it's the fundamentals.
So here I am, sitting down in the classroom, 50 years old, cracking open a math book. Day one.
I'm flashing back right now.
Class 1.
Yeah.
Algebra.
Oh,
I begin to sweat.
yes. Me too, right now. I'm flashing back.
And it's like, algebra. It's like, I've decided I don't ever need algebra. When I gave it up in 1978. And I still don't need it.
Oh, gosh, no.
And
What do you use algebra for? Right
I don't
now?
even know. I have no idea. I still don't know now.
What career uses that other than a teacher?
Math teacher.
Yeah, right.
But of course, most of the students were out of high school who had just finished algebra.
Yeah.
Math classes. So it's like, this piece of cake.
I think show-offs balance their checkbook with algebra.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
just to show off.
The sheer terror of trying to figure out what algebra was and is put me in a cold sweat.
Yes.
But it came back quickly and proceeded to enjoy the fundamentals of mathematics.
I was driving over and I was thinking about driving back to my mom's and her dementia. And I was thinking how in the last 6 months, how much she's changed. And I remember we were on vacation in Florida. Like we took 3 vacations ever. And 2 of them were in Florida. And she was driving around and she was lost. And she got this idea. You could see, bing, light bulb goes off. And she said, there's an airport in Tampa. If we can find a jet, I'll follow it. And it'll take us back to Tampa. And we're all looking at each other like, that can't be possible. How fast do they go? We can't keep up with a jet.
We might have to stop and get fuel.
Might have to.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know that we can do that, Mom. Oh, we'll do that. Okay. So, things like...
So instead of Google Maps, you just follow a jet?
Well, yeah, that was way before Google Maps. So, yeah, she followed...
Or the triptych?
That was in the triptych era.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
but they didn't, they couldn't just email you a triptych because you're lost near Tampa. So it's COVID. I'm sheltered in up there near her. And we're sitting out on our porch in the evening, and she's trying to tell me about cranes, sandhill cranes. And she can't think of the words sandhill crane. She's been around them forever, and she can't think of sandhill crane. So she starts miming it. and so she starts like, how pigeons walk and their heads go back and forth. So
Yep.
she goes, oh, that, and her head's bobbing back and forth. And I know immediately what it is, but I am kind of sometimes passive aggressive or
She just let her hang her out to dry.
I just wanted to see how far it
How
would
long will this go? How long? Strutting around the room.
I go, chicken? No, not chicken. No. And her head gets more exaggerated. It's going back and forth. And I go, pigeon? No, not pigeon. No. And so then the arms come up, like bent at the elbow, kind of like wings. And so she's doing the wings and the head. And I'm like, I got nothing. And she's like, oh, and it becomes more exaggerated. And finally, I can't take it anymore. I go, cranes? Yes, cranes. Oh, God.
What are you, stupid?
And so then I call my sister and I say, we've got to go have her tested. And she said, oh, it's stress. Stress from being your mother? I mean, what stress? She lives on a lake. She's retired. What are you talking about stress? And so we finally did get her diagnosed. And I'm talking to my wife about it, and the neuropsychologist wouldn't refer us to a neurologist, which was the next step. And I had to play the game of going along with the neuropsychologist first. And they're showing her all kinds of things, and she has to write them down or comment on them. And it's a 3-day long
Like a
test.
battery of tests. To
A
try
battery
to
of tests.
Figure out what's going on
What is going on?
from that direction
Right.
versus the direction it really should have been going.
Right. And so one of them was, can you mime a sandhill crane? And she's like, yes, I can do that.
Watch me.
Yeah, right. I'm going to fly.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I'm talking to my wife about it, and she's in the healthcare industry in the ER, and she said, "What's the neurologist's name?" I'm like, I don't know. Let me call my sister. I can't remember the neurologist's name. And so my sister says, Dr. Steve. I go,
Dr. Steve.
Dr. Steve? I don't want, that's not okay with me. I don't think you should be that casual if you're a neurologist. Do you?
It's like Captain Kangaroo.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I want the guy to have a big, long laundry list of accolades. You know, he's got diplomas all over the wall. Dr. Steve is too casual.
It's like Dr. Phil.
It is kind of like, what is Dr. Phil anyway?
Nobody knows.
I don't think so. So, but I mean, I call my...
A charlatan.
He is...
Snake oil salesman.
Right. Shrunken head guy.
Yeah.
Right. Which Dr. Steve probably would be. I mean, you know, he would have a show with Dr. Phil. They'd feed off each other. But as a neurologist, I'm not okay with that. And so I started thinking about it, and I thought, well, I call my dentist by his first doctor. I don't call him doctor anything. I call him Gary. Gary! And, you know, we just had the patient-dentist relationship at that point. And my daughter had a friend over, and this is like 2 days before I'm supposed to go to the dentist, and we were going to go do things. You know, I wanted to keep them occupied while the friend was over, and so I thought, okay, let's go for a hike through the woods and go to the creek and catch crawdads or something, and that'll fill our day. Because they were kind of sitting around, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? Okay, let's go for a hike. So we're starting to go into the woods, and she immediately is afraid of seeing bears, and we're going to be eaten by bears.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to show her, no bears here. There's a mushroom. There's a log. There's a squirrel.
Squirrel?
There is no bear in this woods. There's no bear, and so there's this big vine that's growing right there. And so I thought, okay, kids like Goofy, I'll be Goofy. I grab the vine and I swing on it, and I'm singing Georgia the Jungle as I'm swinging out on this big vine, and the vine breaks, and I fall on my butt, and my head snaps forward, hits my knee, and I get one of those puncher cuts in my eyebrow, and blood is like pouring down my face, and she's totally forgotten about the bear at this point. And
Job well done.
Job well done.
Right.
Thank you.
Distraction.
Absolutely. And so I just feel like, you know, it's a hot summer day. I feel like I'm sweating. I don't even realize that it's blood until I wipe my sweat off of my face and look at my hand, and it's just red. So we go back home so that I can clean up, and fast forward to the dentist. I'm at the dentist, and he looks at me and he goes, "Were you in a fight?" And I said, "No, actually, I was walking through the woods and decided to swing on a vine singing George, George, Georgia of the Jungle." And he just looked at me, and we became friends right then.
That's what it took.
That's what it took. He's Gary, and he's reminded me of the swinging vine incident for going on 30 years now.
You should have told me. You should see the other guy.
Right. Which was my knee.
Hi, this is Andy. If you enjoyed listening to our podcast, please be sure to subscribe and share. Remember, laughter is contagious. Help us spread it by telling a friend.